Yes, clearly there are different Christian understandings of who Adam and Eve might have been. I mean, some people would simply take the whole story of Genesis as being a very symbolic account of all of humans that God has loved and brought into being and who are made in his image and who've then fallen, and then Adam and Eve become the kind of story of every man in that way. I have to say I take it in a more historical sense, actually, myself. And so I would see Adam and Eve not as the first human beings on the earth. I think there were plenty of human beings around in the kind of Neolithic times that Genesis describes for us. But if we go to the Genesis text, it certainly appears that they were farmers. There were other people around at the time, because if you remember, after Cain had killed Abel, he was a fugitive on the earth, and he said to God, he complained, I'm afraid I'm going to be a fugitive in the earth, and I'm afraid of people killing me, actually, if you look at the text. So clearly the Genesis text understands there were lots of other people around, there were cities around, and so forth. So it looks as if the Genesis text is telling us about things going on in Neolithic times, maybe 6,000 to 8,000 years ago, and so forth. And so one of the understandings would be that Adam and Eve are actually Neolithic farmers that God chose to come into fellowship with himself and to understand what fellowship with God was all about and what a personal knowledge of God was all about. People to whom God gave commands and to whom he had expectations. He revealed himself to them in a special kind of way. And it was those people, that couple actually, who then fell from God's grace and who sadly disobeyed this light from God that they'd had. So that means that Adam and Eve then is not really about evolution or about genetics. It's actually about people called by God to be in fellowship with himself. And in fact, John Stott was the one who first called those people homo divinus, the idea of the divine humans. So it was necessary but not sufficient to actually be anatomically modern humans. You had to have something extra, if you like, and that was knowing God in a personal way. And that can only come about through revelation, through God choosing to reveal himself to people.